Hola amigos, Dr. Labrinicky. Today we're going to take a look at how the contractions all and del work in Spanish. You've probably seen these words quite a bit, they're pretty common, but maybe you didn't know what they meant, or maybe you didn't know how to use them, and so today we're going to take a look at that. Okay, so I've got all and del. What do they mean? All means to the or at the, so it's coming from a plus l, makes the contraction all, and de plus l makes del. That one means of the or from the. So in Spanish, anytime I've got these two words together, I must make the contraction. In English, I've got the option of whether I make the contraction or not. In Spanish, that's not the case. I have to make the contraction. All right, let's take a look at a couple examples how these can be used in sentences. Doy el papel al profesor. Doy el papel a la profesora. So in English, that would translate as I give the paper to the teacher. There's no indication of gender in English with teacher, but in Spanish, profesor, profesora, there is an indication of gender because I've got the L and the la in front of it as well. And so, doy el papel al profesor. I give the paper to the teacher. A plus L, I make the contraction all. In this example, I don't make the contraction. Doy el papel a la profesora. I've got a and la. That does not contract. Okay, another example, soy del campo. I'm from the country, so if it's el campo and I have de plus el, I have to make the contraction del. And another one, soy de la ciudad. I'm from the city. It's la ciudad, so de and la don't contract. So those are a couple examples with that. Let's switch over here and look at a couple of more items. All right, let's take a look at a couple other items to take into consideration with these contractions for all and del. Another item is called the personal a. The personal a is something we don't have in English. It doesn't translate between the languages. The translator, online translator, wouldn't be able to figure it out. There's no translation between the words. So this concept can often give students a little bit of trouble. But if you just think about it a little bit, it shouldn't be too difficult for you to understand. So what the personal a is, in Spanish, it indicates somebody's receiving the action, so it helps clarify in the sentence between who's doing the action and who's receiving the action. So if I'm doing something towards a person, I put the personal a to help clarify that. If what I'm talking about is to an object, then I would not put the personal a. Let's take a look at some examples here. I got visito Madrid. So I visit Madrid. That's not a person. I wouldn't put the personal a. Translates exactly between the languages. No personal a is needed. In our next example, I'm going to show you how the personal a is used. So I've got visito a mi abuela. I visit my grandma. So you would think it would be visito mi abuela, and that would be a direct word-for-word translation, which would be incorrect, because in Spanish I have to have the personal a here, visito a mi abuela. And that's what the personal a is. And then again, if I ever had this personal a plus L, then I have to make the contraction all. All right, let's take a look at some more examples with de. Keep in mind that many prepositions in Spanish end in de. Again, preposition's a word like around or in front of or before or near. Many of those in Spanish have de, and here's a couple examples. Cerca de, which is near. Delante de, in front of. Lejos de, far from. Detrás de, behind. So again, if anytime I've got these words de and el are together, I have to make the contraction, but de with any other word then would not make a contraction. All right, here's a couple of practice items that we can try here. And what you could do is, a couple of the different practice items, what you could do is see if you can figure out which preposition would you put into the blank. It might be a, and then one of the words el, la, los, or las, or you might have de plus el, la, los, or las, and then keep in mind if you had a and el together, you'd make the contraction all, and if you had de and el together, you'd make the contraction del, but those words would not contract with any of the other articles. Okay, so if you want to do a practice, just pause the video and give these a try here, otherwise we'll explain them and go over the answer right now. So voy blank tienda, I want to say I go to the store. We know it's la tienda, and a would be to, so it would not contract. Voy a la tienda. Here I want to say I come from the supermarket. Okay, so it's el supermercado, and it's I come from is going to be day. And then we've got day and L together, so we must make the contraction del. Okay, I talk to the teacher. Notice it's maestra, so it's la. And then to, or the personal can be a. And la don't contract, so we're good there. I see the boy. It's going to be el muchacho. Okay, that would make sense for English, but in Spanish I have to put my personal a because I'm doing something towards a person. Okay, so I've got a and l together. I must make my contraction. All. And our last one, mariscos vienen mar. So seafood comes from the sea. So it's el mar. And I want to say seafood comes from, so that's going to be day. And day and L together, I must make the contraction del. And that would be some examples of how we'd use the contractions all or del. All right, thanks for watching. Hopefully this helped you out. And please remember to subscribe for access to all my different videos. All right, hasta pronto. Ciao.